Welcome back, comic book fans. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and today we've got a comic book signing event for you. I ended up going down to the James Tynion signing at Third Eye Comics. It was held on a Friday night, and I was late getting there. I've got a whole story about that. It's one of the reasons why you don't see the normal preview with me talking right now in the car before I get down there. A lot of times you'll see me driving down, and I'll do the preview. I'll talk about it, then we'll go in the store, you'll see some footage, and then we'll come back and I'll do a little show and tell. But things got messed up with this because it was a nighttime signing with James Tynion and Tyler Boss. And it was going to start at 6 o'clock, and there was no way I was going to get there in time. I literally was still at work until 7 o'clock, 7:15 almost, before I could get out of there. But big kudos to my wife, who agreed to go down there and get in line for me. And thank goodness she did, because I would have never gotten through that line. One, I don't think I would have been allowed. I think they cut the line off, so they weren't going to let anybody else in. So she got in place for me. I was part of the VIP group that was going to go in, and some things happened that actually pushed the VIP line back even further, because they had a super VIP thing going on. But this is what happened. I had to stay at work. My wife goes down. She gets in line. She had never been there before, and she was very frustrated, so I owe her a lot. If you guys want to give her a shout out for accommodations and kudos and everything else, shout her out. She did a great job holding that place. She was not feeling well, but she came through, and she goes down there. And I told her, you don't necessarily have to get there right at 6 o'clock, because the line's already going to be started. You want to get down there probably with James Tynion, and he's been there multiple times. And I even underestimated just how big the line was still going to be. Luckily, she was in that line. It was cold outside. It was warm inside. She was, again, not feeling well. And I told her at 6 o'clock, they'll open the doors, you'll go in, and you should be able to make it through the line. I don't know if I'm going to make it in time. There's no guarantees I was going to get out of work. As a manager at Amazon, I'm expected to finish that shift and get all of our packages to you guys. And I didn't know if that was going to happen. So I gave her the books to get signed. I actually had a second batch with me that if she got through the line and got everything signed, I would have just gotten the back of the line if I could have. But what happened was she gets in line, and it turns out that they had a super VIP pass. They did a Q&A with James Tynion. I suppose Tyler Boss was there too, but there was some news breaking on something skilling the children, and they did a Q&A, and then they let the super VIPs, and I think there was up to 30 of those, go in line first. And to be quite honest, that's what saved me. It made my wife stay down there a lot longer, but it allowed me to finish up at work, rush down to Annapolis, Maryland, and go in the store, find her. I got her out of there. I got her home, and I took her place then at that point. And again, it was about 20 people still in front of me at that point, in front of her. And what I'm going to do right now is I did take a little bit of footage from inside. I'm going to show you that right now, and then we're going to come back and we'll do a little show and tell. So stay tuned, enjoy this footage, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I did not bring my strap-on sticky goose apparatus to use my phone. I didn't even think about it because I didn't think I was going to make it, so it wasn't in the car. So I just shot a little bit of footage, and I didn't even bother taking a photo with James Tynion this time. I've done it in the past, but there are so many people in line. I didn't want to hold up the line any further than I had to. So we get up there, and the first person at the table, that is Tyler Boss, and I'll be quite honest, he was there a few months ago, and I'd already gotten all the stuff I had for him already signed, but they did have some things on the table. So I did pick up, I believe it's a reprint of issue number 1 for You'll Do Bad Things. So I picked that up and I had Tyler sign that right there. I felt kind of bad because I didn't bring anything for him. I just didn't have anything new. But we had a nice little conversation while the person in front of me was having a conversation with James Tynion. So I finished up with Tyler, and then I got to James, and we got to talk a little bit. And I said, my wonderful wife came down. I gave him the story and everything, and I started giving him some books, and I'll show you what I got. So we've got Exquisite Corpses number 1. This is the Jenny Frison cover right there. I had already had Jenny Frison sign this at HeroesCon this year, and I had 2 copies of that, and I had the gold pin that you can see it right there and right there. I got James to sign those. So that was pretty cool. And I'm looking through the stack. Oh, yep, there it is. I did have a regular issue number 1, cover A, that I had him sign as well. And then it comes down to, what else do you need James Tynion to sign? He has been here multiple times now. I've gotten so many Batman books signed, Something's Killing the Children. I kind of didn't want to waste it on books like The Closet or Blue Book. Those books don't have a lot of meaning to me, and I wanted it on something that, 1, I would really want on my PC, or 2, that might actually make the books increase in value. So one of the things I've been working on, in the books that I gave my wife, a lot of these were already signed by other people, not all of them, but we'll go through it. I'll show you these are all the books I gave my wife to get signed. Now, this is one of my favorite Art Germ covers. In fact, this is where I discovered Art Germ, was this cover to issue number 92 of Batman on James Tynion's run. And this cover just blew me away. This design, the style, the technique, everything. And I've gotten this book signed before. In fact, it was my very first CGC 9.8 that I ever bought. I bought this book. Now, these days, you can go out there and buy this book for really cheap. You can probably get it for almost case cost at this point. And I have actually sent in a couple copies. I've got 2 copies of this signed by James Tynion and Art Germ as well, because both of them were down at CGC at the same time, or I think it was the same time. I'm not even sure. But I do have 2 graded copies of this with James Tynion. But I continue getting this signed. If they do another Art Germ signing, I will send this in to get it graded and verified. They'll have to verify James Tynion's signature. At that point, I can do that now because JSA is part of them. So, got another one of those signed. We've got DC versus Vampires. This is issue number 1 right here. And as you can see, I've got a signature right there. And what's the guy's name? Is it Rosenberg? It's the other writer on this book, I believe. He was there when Tyler Boss was there for a signing a few months ago. It was, I think, one of the times when Scott Snyder was there as well. And he had already signed this book, but I wanted Tynion to sign it as well. And then going back to Batman number 92, I'd never gotten these signed. This is the regular cover A. And that Art Germ cover and these are technically the first cover appearances bought from Punchline. And she is actually right there. That's why I didn't really care about this book as much. It was the Art Germ cover that drew me in. But right there, I take it back, that's the Riddler. Right there is Punchline. And both of these considered her first cover. Now, Something's Killing the Children is James Tynion's big claim to fame. What got me onto Something's Killing Children, I wasn't there from issue number 1, but I was from about issue number 7. It took me a while for the book to really pop, but it was this cover for issue number 1, the Jenny Frison cover. And I had a raw copy of this that I took down to Heroes. Jenny signed it right there. James signed it right there. If they do another Werther Dell'Edera signing, I may send this one in at some point. But this book, as nice as it is on the cover here, the back, there is a spot on that matte finish back cover that is awful. I don't even know what it would grade out to, but as a raw copy, this is a pretty cool collectible. I may just keep this. I've actually got all three of the creators from this book with this cover, signed 9.8. It's one of my, it wasn't a goal, but I was so pleased with myself to be able to finally manage to get all three of the creators. It took sending it into CGC signings, I think 2 different times to be able to get Frizen and then be able to get Tynion and Deladera at the same time. So it took some maneuvering to get that book signed, or my original copy, but still a good copy, just that back cover is not perfect. Now, some other books that I had gotten signed that were already signed. This was Batman issue number 98. Not a key, but it is part of that James Tynion run right after Punchline was introduced. But these were some beautiful these both copies, the same cover. David Finch cover right there. You got Punchline, you've got Harley Quinn, you've got Batman, and you've got David Finch signing right up there at the top. So these are books that I may look to actually put in my eBay store. We'll see about that. And if you're ever interested in anything, just reach out to me at collectorauctions@yahoo.com. I've got the email. It's right there. Easiest way to get a hold of me. You can always reach out to me on my Instagram account. You can leave a comment down below. You can look at my eBay store. I may have these listed at some point. I don't know. Anyway, continuing with things that were already signed. Nice House on the Lake number 1. I believe this is the 3rd variant, I believe. The light in here is awful. Yeah, this is the 3rd printing of issue number 1. Look how distressed it looks. It's so awesome. But what's cool about this is I took it to Philly Fan Expo this year, and we've got, I'll have to say this, Alvaro Martinez Bueno signed it right there, and then James Tynion signed it in silver. He was paying attention to the other artist on here, so he signed that. And I did have an issue number 1. This is the Third Eye Comics exclusive cover to issue number 1. It looks just like issue number 1, except for the trade dress here is very much like a Stephen King's 70s, one of his books. That's what this looks like. And if you take this out of the bag, it does have the Third Eye Comics on there. They sponsored, this is their cover. I didn't get this one graded though. I had pulled it from grading. There is a tick over here, and with this cardstock cover, it's not necessarily suitable for grading, but still a really nice copy to have raw. And then lastly, the things that I got signed by James Tynion. I never had an issue number 1 that wasn't, well, I never had the regular cover, but I did pick up some of the reprints over the last couple years. This is the archive edition version of this, and I think it's exactly like the original, except it says archive edition right there, and you see James Tynion there. I'll save that again for Werther Deladera, and I got 2 copies of that. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, definitely give me a like, slap that subscribe, and click on that notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any of the episodes that I put out each and every week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. That may change after we get finished with the Baltimore Comic-Con videos. I'm still editing everything there. After that, I may try to go and cut back just a little bit. We may go back to 2 shows a week. We'll see how that goes. But stay tuned for that. And guys, if you enjoyed today's video, definitely reach out and leave me a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your comments. Let me know, have you met Tyler Boss? Have you met James Tynion? Let me know, and let me know your experience. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you for the next episode. Until then, remember, every comic has a story.